Tennessee, and
Okay.
I was going through. Actually, I found out through some of my neighbors that a lot of them don't even have running water. So I started looking around and researching, and found out about the community block development grants. And I was
Okay.
finding out, or I wanted to reach out and find out what it would take to actually even start applying through our community to try to get some of this handled to get basic water lines.
Sure. So at this moment, um, we don't have that as an eligible activity. And the reason for that is because there is so much infrastructure funding available through one of our sister, or I guess sister departments, the Department of Environment and Conservation. They received a lot of money to assist with some of that. So we've reduced what we're doing currently in the water and sewer infrastructure space. Um, Again, specifically due to like labor shortages, all that kind of supply shortages, all that kind of stuff. Typically, it is something that would have to be applied for through a county or a local city government.
Okay,
Um, and it's we have to look primarily at serving low and moderate income households.
that's
So,
exactly what we are, for the most part.
okay, yeah, and I was going to say that's typically defined at 80% of the area median income for a household size, and that that's usually defined at the county level. So it's pretty local. Um, Again, that's not to say that anyone is or isn't, just more informational on it. It's not compared against the state or the national average or anything like that. Um, so it's something that we're going to reconsider again next fall in our public meeting. But again, right now we don't have it as an eligible activity under the program.
Okay, from my research, it looks like the one through TDEC, Tennessee Department of Environmental Conservation, it's a loan to the county. Our county has
So they
like 29,000 people, and the town that we're in probably has less than 4,000 of that, and most of them
Right.
are well below the standard of poverty and income.
Understood. Um, yes, they do have the state revolving fund, which is a loan program. There are also some for distressed communities. There are principal forgiveness options under that, which is really another way, since they can't do grant making typically. Essentially, another way of saying it's a loan that does not have to be paid back. So, kind of a different way to a grant. But in addition to that, through the American Rescue Plan, the ARP stimulus funding, they got over I think it's probably about 1.3 billion for water and sewer infrastructure.
Okay.
And so um, there are also some avenues there that may be able to be available.
And
Um, which Do you know which utility you would be served by?
it is well, it would have been part Tennessee American Water, and then there's another one that comes around the mountain. I forget which one it is, but they're too far away. Our county just says we don't have the money, we can't tie into that, and gives us excuses. But yet they don't ever apply for any grants. They don't. There's Bill Lee put out an $85 million infrastructure grant, and our county literally applied for nothing.
Sure. Wait, which you said an $85 million infrastructure grant? Which one is that?
That was Governor Bill Lee put out one.
Um, okay. Yeah, I'd have to look into a little bit more information about exactly which one that would have been. I do know that with the ARP funding, that all of the counties have participated in that program, and so try to figure out exactly what would be in that plan or not. I'm not entirely sure. Again, with our program under typical operation where stimulus funding isn't flooding the market, we would still generally have to go through either the city or the county government as the applicant. So even then, it'd still be reliant on one of those governments applying on behalf of the beneficiaries of the community.
Where can I get more information about this so I can go to the local county meetings and present it? So they'll give us solutions, not excuses.
Sure. Yeah, I certainly understand that. Trying to think. I don't know specifically offhand about the ARP funding because, again, I know that is through the Department of Environment and Conservation. I do know if you just Google TDEC, so TDEC,
Yeah.
and ARP, it will pull up the website that they're using. They do have a general email address. They may also have a phone number that could be called, but you could at least on that front, and even possibly as part of the SRF or the State Revolving Fund principal forgiveness piece, you may be able to get some information that way on their programs. As far as ours, again, I can potentially send you something that we've used in the past, but again, without it being part of our program currently, we don't really have the information for what would be needed for water line or sewer line extensions.
I mean, most of our people are on septic. If they've built out there, it's really the running water stuff that's kind of concerning. I mean, a lot of people are literally having to take IBC totes and tote water off the side of a spring and haul to their house.
Sure.
And literally living in like third world conditions.
Yeah, like I said, I can send you some information that we've used for the program in the past. But we do, because our program is on an annual cycle, it won't be until next fall when we have a public meeting for the next annual cycle. And we've said this for the last year or two that we will reconsider each project type at that point in time. Just depending on where the construction environment and supply, all kind of stuff is, because we also have to weigh how quickly we can expend funds with the needs of the communities, and so that's really the major reason. In addition to all of the additional infrastructure funding that's out there right now, why we have excluded it for the time being.
Okay. Use this flyer. Okay. So the next grant workshop's in December. Procurement.
So our public meeting will actually be probably next September. That's usually about the time that we hold our public meetings.
Okay.
And we're required to have them in person, so we do, but we also have a virtual option instead, as well. So that way, it's not like you would have to come in person to be able to participate. We also have when we open that comment period, we have a short form on our website that is designed for us to be able to collect those comments and submissions a lot easier, because we know that from Marion County to Nashville is quite a trek, and depending on the time of day and everything else you have going on, you might be able to jump on a call for 30 minutes, but you certainly probably can't take an entire day out of you to come up. So
understand.
We try and make it as accommodating as possible.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just a concerned citizen. I'm just trying to figure out what are the options.
Yeah, I certainly understand, and I do appreciate that too. I do think that it would be worth checking, sending an email to that ARP email and seeing maybe if they have some information, they may be able to provide you with some information for how the county is intending to use some of their ARP funding. And it's at least worth an ask, if nothing else.
Understand. All right. Yeah. Let me do a little bit of research and see if I can put something together.
Okay. Thank you for your
I appreciate your call. Thank you.
Absolutely.